Hey, it's Keisha. Welcome and welcome back. We're on our next reading in Ask and It Is Given. And I believe we are on 13, process 13. Which thought feels better? So let us begin by first closing our eyes and centering. Taking a deep breath in and letting it out. Another deep breath in and out. Feel yourself becoming more present in your seat. Begin to collect your focus. The next couple of breaths, just release any cares, concerns, worries. Just feel them leaving your physical space, leaving your mind, going out back into the ethers. Lovingly and gently recall all of your power back to yourself. And on these next few breaths, just feel how much more whole and complete you are. If you feel like any person or situation is tethered to you, just release that tie, let it go back to source. Likewise, if you feel tied to any person or outcome, any particular situation, just release it and let it go back to source. We should now feel present, whole, and free. And now see a column of white light gently descend down over you. Breathe in its loving familiarity, its comfort, its wisdom, its support. Feel it quickening the cells of the body, filling the spaces between the cells. Making you now more whole and enlivened. And now we'll lift up in that column, lift up higher and higher, lift up out of the physical consciousness, out of the worldly way, out of the earthly bonds, lift up higher and higher. Reconnecting with the true essence of who you are as a spiritual being. Feeling yourself expansive and free. When you're ready, find your favorite place in the grove. With your heart open and your mind open, gently open your eyes. Which thought feels better? So we'll use this process when you want to feel more consciously aware of how you really feel about something right now. When you're faced with a decision and you want to go in the best direction possible. When you want to determine your current emotional set point, and when you want to become consciously aware of your emotional guidance system. This process of which thought feels better will be of most value to you when your emotional set point is between 4 and 17, so between positive expectation and belief and anger. You'll find the 22 list of 22 emotions in the description box if you need a refresher. Every subject is really two subjects, something that you desire and the absence of the thing that you desire. Some believe that when you're focused upon the subject of a healthy body, when instead you might actually be focused on that of a sick body. Some people believe that they're thinking about improving their financial situation, but instead they're focused on not having enough. And because the subject is health or money, they believe that anytime they're focused on the subject, they're thinking about what they want, when often that's not the case. Often people say, I want this I've wanted this for as long as I can remember. Why hasn't it happened yet? Because they're not aware that every subject is really two subjects, the wanted and the lack of it. They thought that because they were talking about money, they were talking about what they wanted, but instead they were really focused on the lack of it. Only when you're sensitive to the way you feel do you really begin to know what your vibrational content is. And with some practice, you'll become very adept at knowing always exactly where you are focused, whether it is truly on the exploring the having of it or the not having of it. Okay. So the which thought feels better process will help you consciously identify the vibrational frequency of the current thought. The game is most effectively played when you are alone because no one else can know or understand how or what thoughts feel best to you. Often when you're interacting with others, you may be confused about whether the thought actually feels better to you or whether it's offering a vibration, and you're offering it up because that's a choice that you think someone else would make. It's important to leave everyone else's ideas, desires, opinions, and beliefs aside when you identify yourself, how you feel, right? Because if we're on other people that always want us to be positive, that might not be where we are in that moment. And to get along with and appease the other person, will pretend to be in a space where everything is all right when really it isn't. And sometimes you need to express where you currently are, even if it's in a negative space, so that you can begin to recognize where you are, that you can move to a more positive one, right? This process works best if you can sit for a few minutes and write your thoughts on paper. And in time, when you've played the game enough sufficiently, you'll find success just by rolling the thoughts through your mind. You won't necessarily have to write everything down. But in the beginning, writing them down brings it to a point of focus, and it causes you to, or thereby making it easier for you to understand or feel the direction of your chosen thought. So to begin, first, we write down a brief statement about how you feel about the subject right now. And you can describe it as it's happened. What's most important is that you describe how you feel. And next, you want to write a statement that amplifies exactly how you feel. This helps you more easily recognize any improvement as you move through the process. So for example, if you've just had an argument with someone because, say, for instance, your spouse, because you feel like they don't help enough around the house, doesn't take care of their things, leaves a mess for you to clean, and so on and so forth. So then you would write, my spouse or my partner is deliberately trying to make my life difficult. That might be how you're feeling in the moment because they're not offering assistance. They don't care about me at all. They only think about themselves. They never come close to doing their share of the work. I'm always having to do more, right? So as you begin to ferret out those feelings more, you'll begin to write more thoughts that may be the same or worse as when you began. So you'll continue to list those thoughts, and you may notice a shift in them as you continue to go through it. So if we start off first by saying, they're deliberately trying to make my life difficult. After going through a couple of those statements, you may find yourself thinking, well, wait a minute, that's not really true. They've got a lot on their plate, and just like I'm doing the best I can, they're doing the best that they can. Maybe it's that they don't see how their lack of attention or lack of assistance is hurting me. Maybe just because I've said it more than once, they still don't understand it in a way that makes sense to them, that they do better. So as you begin to offer these other thoughts, you can see that they move from more negative to more positive. And they may go back and forth, but you'll begin to eventually see the pattern, be able to label it. And then as you begin to offer more and more thoughts, you tend to have them move in a more positive direction. And it's not so much about someone else changing to suit you, but as you change your thoughts on the situation, you're offering a new point of vibration whereby how you view things and how people respond to you does change. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and we will come back next week with our next lesson, and I will see you then. I love you in the meantime. Bye.